Today's topic is...
Asian designer comments on Asian Space Marine heads?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Wavepan. I'm Cal.
I'm Sunny.
So first off, a quick shout out to Inquisitor Vullen, who we watched this video of, and he had a great level of resources, which we're going to show here. Watch his video, give it a thumbs up. And I can't hold it back any longer. Sunny's got a monologue.
Okay. First of all, GW has over 40 years in miniature modeling experience, and I refuse to believe that they can't get female head sculpts right, because Exhibit A and several others. At this point, whatever female heads they have made that look more male can be assumed to be sculpted that way intentionally, not accidentally, not with great struggle, but with intention. I'm not gonna bother trying to show evidence upon evidence to show how these are female and not Asian, because we all know the people making these claims will find any and every excuse to deflect regardless of the facts. So I'll point out the obvious here. When Cal showed me these for the first time, it was on the big screen TV and viewed from 2 meters away, and I could instantly identify that some of these were female by their more cat-like eyes, fuller lips, and intentional choice of lip coloring to make it look like they're wearing lipstick. Some people have made the overgeneralized and thoughtless argument that they are just Asian. Well, as a fellow Asian woman who was raised in Singapore, where we have every type of Asian available to us my whole life, I can tell you they're not Asian. And I take offense to that because, again, GW has no problem sculpting masculine Asian heads. Exhibit B and several others. So let's just call it what it is without beating around the bush and trying to gaslight the rest of the community from their sanity. This is clearly a soft launch of female Space Marine designs. GW has a proven track record for abruptly making lore changes to Space Marines and the Custodes specifically, and nowhere else. So there is no doubt that this is an intentional move to slowly but surely introduce female Space Marine sculpts as canon. We have seen time and again that they target these drastic changes the majority of the community is not for on their flagship line, and they do not carry this mindset to any of their other models. Honestly, they're behaving like children who've been caught by their parents doing the wrong things, and instead of respecting that, they just do it behind their parents' back instead. If you want specifically female Space Marines, there is nothing stopping you from using your own hands and creativity to do a simple head swap with some of the lovely heads from these other ranges from Games Workshop onto a Space Marine body. So for those of you out there who want to imply that all Asians look the same and look like girls, stop being lazy for once and actually engage in the hobby. Stop backing everyone else into a corner because you refuse to put some level of effort.
Can I speak now?
You may.
Alright, so I do want to admit a certain level of ramping Sunny up, because I said, hey, you know, there's these people talking about whether these are female sculpts or not, and then Sunny picked out the heads almost immediately, and we should have gone and done the video then.
I wouldn't blame you for ramping me up because, like, you know, you showed me the thing, but the comment of it just being Asian.
Yeah,
and, like,
I know,
deflecting.
but I think I should have avoided that, because I think
it was inevitable.
Yeah, no, it was inevitable, but I think once you heard that, once you saw some of the examples, I think you really got your blood up.
Oh, it definitely did.
I think that the biggest issue is not the idea of female heads for Space Marines, right? I don't think that in of itself is a problem. I think the fact that Games Workshop is doing it as a soft launch and they're not making any comments about it and stuff like that. So here's the thing. Lots of people have headcanon. In fact, Games Workshop encourages it. They say make your own chapter, make your own thing, right? And I think one of the things that they could have said with this is, we are introducing female heads because it's something that a lot of people have asked us about. Female Space Marines will not be introduced into the lore, but we encourage creativity.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something that we constantly advocate for, or constantly say that GW should do, is that they should encourage creativity, but instead they make a lot of decisions that limit people's creativity.
Yeah, not only that, it's really disgusting that they did this with the female Space Marines, but they didn't do it for the Custodes. I think, like, that's really two-faced. They say, all right, we're changing law with the Custodes, custodies. All right, so are you going to give us female custodies heads? No.
Nah, we're just gonna do it this way. But I think it's also bad that there are people online making claims that, hey, it's not actually Space Marines who are female, they're Asians, because they know how the community feels about this topic.
Yes,
it's touchy.
exactly.
But instead of addressing it and say, hey, accepting it, it's a win for us, right? The people who are asking for this, they just gaslight everyone else and say, oh, it's Asian. And then they're trying to
I
back
actually
them into a different corner.
have a point on that. I find it really sad that you have to be the spearhead of this. I mean, like, you were very passionate. Like, you sort of stormed off and went to the laptop and wrote down your thoughts.
I had to write it all down because I knew I was going to ramble my
But
mouth off.
the fact is that an Asian woman and a black guy are the ones that are commenting on this, and like you still don't, like, we're going to see these comments. We know we are. We're going to see these comments, and people still won't admit it. I know that they won't, and we just know that level of dishonesty. They can't just go, hey, I want to make female Space Marines.
And I'd like to personally apologize to some of our new watchers who actually find our content very wholesome and they leave happy. That I've seen some of these really great comments recently, but I think we also need to really acknowledge this one extra bit. To be happy in a hobby, to be happy in a space, is to also be able to know that you will be rooted in reality and not gaslit constantly or be lied to.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, right? I think everybody can have disagreements. Like, somebody can say, I want female Space Marines, and somebody can say, I don't want them.
Yeah, because everyone has their own preferences, but I think the line has to be drawn when people are trying to constantly force what they like onto other people.
I don't think it's about the forcing. I think it's about the lying. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, wait, no, Cal, that's not right. Forcing people is just as bad as lying.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess we're doubling back on ourselves, and I guess I'm trying to give too much of the benefit of the doubt. So here's all I'm gonna say. If you enjoyed this analysis, please check out some of our other videos. We have a skit at the end of these, and as always, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. So, first off, I want to say, check out Inquisitor Nullen.
It's Inquisitor Volin.
No, that's what I said, right?
Nope. You have no idea how hard it was for me to recover this audio.
No, this was the skit. It's like,